Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for our take and make at the Hillsborough Public Library. We were able to provide 25 kits to the first 25 registered to the program, but I did do some research on those of you that didn't get a kit, where you can get some of the materials you might need to create your own bough. Before we get started, we'll chat about that. So if you don't have materials, one of the places that you can go to get the fresh boughs, I was lucky that extended family donated boughs to us this year. So a thank you to Whispering Ridge Tree Farm. But you can buy bundles of boughs at Home Depot, at Lowe's, and the cheapest route, but it's a bigger amount, is a 5-pound box on Amazon. And these are all fresh. I also got some holly given to me and donated from a coworker, but look for some holly if you have that. Forgive me as I allow people in as we go. We also provided wire rings, and these we purchased off of the Dollar Tree website. I did go to Dollar Tree the other day. I didn't see them on the shelf, but they are available online. And another thing we had, and I got these are 50, this is 50 feet of floral wire. And I also got these from the website, the Dollar Tree website. So we have this, that's about 50 feet. And in addition to, I ran the one that, so some of you might have a wine cork wrapped with about 50 feet of floral wire that I purchased these at Michael's for $2.50. So pretty cheap. These were $1, these were $1, and these were $2.50. I have some decorations on the wreath that I already made, and we provided a few decorations with the kits that we gave out. You'll see that some old Christmas ornaments you have that maybe ornaments that are bulbs, or some of these that you can hang something like this in the center of your wreath. And I also have some jingle bells that I've attached onto this one down here. I went to the Dollar and purchase a few bows because I like to add a bow to my wreath. And that's about it. So if you're ready, we're going to get started. I am going to angle my camera down. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, or feel free to unmute and just shout it out. But let's get started. Let's out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to start with my wire ring, and I'm going to take my floral and I'm going to tie it onto my wreath ring. Just tie a knot with it. You've got to be a little careful with the wire when it comes like this. It can get easily tangled. I really prefer to use these, but this works too. It doesn't matter where you choose to tie the knot, just anywhere on the wire ring. So there we go, that's ready. And now with your kit, we provided some of the boughs that you'll need, and a few tips about cutting your boughs and getting ready for your wreath. When you look at, we don't want to use this whole piece. And oh, I apologize, guys. We also need a couple of handfuls. So yard shears are helpful because we need to snip our boughs up. And wire cutters or scissors. Scissors work with the floral wire as well. So what you want to do when you're looking at your bough is we want to cut like the end of a branch off, but giving ourselves some room to do the wire wrap and fill our bough. So I'm going to take this one and you'll see it has this extra little sprig here on the side. But I'm going to cut it below that so I can use all of this as one bunch on my bough. So I'm going to cut it right about here. And that gives me something like this. And I want to use as much of my bough as I can. So I might use this one later. I'm going to cut it a little bit down here. Now I have something like this. And this one's kind of funny looking. So I'm going to do this. And I end up with something like this. But as I'm wrapping it on my wreath ring, I'll be able to sort of squish it together and make it work for me on my wreath. So we should be able to get the most out of our bough. The thing that you don't want to do when you're cutting your boughs up is something like use, say, this, because you're going to have this icky tip showing. And we don't want any white tips showing on our wreaths. If it happens, it's okay. Does anybody have any questions yet? I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat as well. You're welcome for the materials. I feel really lucky that we were able to supply them. So what we'll do right now is just continue to cut at least a small bit and get enough to get us started with our rings. So here's some, but I want to make a small pile so that I can start wrapping. I'm not a professional by any means. I work here at the library, and I a few years back helped out extended family at their Christmas tree farm where they were selling Christmas trees and wreaths. And one of the workers there taught me how to make wreaths in a matter of about 20 minutes. It's not hard, and I promise you, you'll amaze yourself when you're done. Every one of them turn out really, really pretty, no matter how they're put together. Okay, so I have a small pile, and I feel ready to sort of get the ring going. I apologize, friends. When you use your ring, you'll want it to. Oh yes, I apologize. You'll want the curved side up so that the back is kind of hollowed out. That way you can hang it better. Sorry, I didn't say something sooner. Now, I'm going to start by taking one of my little snippets, and I'm going to lay it right above where I tied the knot to the wire, like this. And I've left like this much at the bottom comparatively to where I've placed my wire to get me started, because I want to make sure it stays good and secure. When we wrap around when we wrap our wire around, we're going to wrap it 3 times to make sure it's nice and stable. So putting this one isn't quite enough. I want to make it a bit bushier. So I'm going to keep adding. Now, I don't know if you can see, but where I cut this one, it's sort of curved. So I don't really want this. I'm going to cut this off here and get rid of this end. No. All right. Still not good enough. Now I have 2, but I'm going to layer a third one. And when I say layer, like I've laid this first one, the second one, I'm moving down a bit more under the first, just a slight. And the third one, I'm going to layer just a tiny bit down too. Now my wire is right here, and that gives me this much room to stabilize my boughs. So here I go. I'm going to wrap it 3 times. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to pull it really tight right here. Okay, that's our first bunch. So you can see slowly coming together. All right. Now we just continue on by adding more pieces of bough. And you just keep layering. So you might lay down 2 or 3 pieces of bough and then wrap your wire. I tend to lay down about 3 of my chunks. Another fun thing to use to decorate these are pine cones. They're really easy to attach and super cute. But I didn't find any. Now here I have clipped it and I have this weird thing on the end. I'm gonna clip that one down as well. And now I'm gonna wrap it 3 times. Okay. Also put some holly, and be careful because especially the stuff gets dry, it gets pretty pokey. So to do the holly, I don't know if you can see, but the leaf is coming kind of low, and I still need a bit of room to wrap the wire. So I'm going to cut a few of these off the bottom. I'm actually going to cut 3. That gives me this much more room to get it in there on my ring. So I'm going to set that there. I'm going to start layering another piece of my bow on top of it and wrap the holly in with it. You don't have to do it that way. You can just go ahead and wrap it. You can wrap as much as you want. All right. I am actually out of little pieces of bough, so I'm going to cut another little pile for myself. We'll put on the decorations at the end. If you wanted, I did see at the Dollar Tree, they have fake boughs as well. And those work too. They work forever. And matter of fact, I have a fake one at home that I use every year. So, friends, as I'm going, I'm noticing that this wire is getting quite tangled as I'm going. And that's okay because I'm just going to go with it. There's knots in it. It has done this to me where I've got a knot, and I'm just going to take that, gather it, and wrap and just keep going because you can't see it. Sorry about the mess. I know it's really messy. Okay, so I am gonna just keep on adding. To be honest, friends, this project takes me on average about 25 minutes a wreath if I were going really quick. But that being said, I would have already pre-cut my bow pieces and had them ready to go. Once you start getting it down, it's a real easy process. You'll be proud of yourself, I promise. Wrapping 3. And now I need some more bow pieces. So although you can get these at Home Depot and Lowe's and on Amazon, you can also, if you haven't gotten your Christmas tree yet and you intend on doing that, you might check at a Christmas tree farm and ask if they have any. Sometimes they may have a bunch to give away. So never hurts to ask. And they also might sell them. So I'm almost halfway there. And this is what I've got so far. It'll come together. I'm not really loving this right here. Some of these that are all, but I'll fix it later. We'll pretty it up when I'm back. This is one of those projects that no matter what you do, there's just no way to make it unattractive. It ends up looking nice. Okay, so I've layered my 3 and now I'm gonna wrap 3 times with my wire. I have lost count and did 4 that time. Okay, I think I'm ready to add a little sprig of holly. Now, if I didn't and say I just kept going, I still have opportunity to add it later on because it's easy to clip it down and stick it where I want it to be. But I'm going to use it as I go. So I'm gonna do that. I'll tell you, I have not been the janitor's favorite this week with all the wreaths and all the pine stuff everywhere. I gotta say, I highly recommend using this kind of wire to do this. I have got a tangled mess with those little packages of 50-cent Dollar Tree wire. Well, I'm kind of done fighting with that piece. So now I have a loose end of my wire, and it's just a simple, just so simple. I'm gonna twist this like a twist tie, and I'm just gonna wrap it around and tie a knot so it's secure. And then I can restart with another piece of wire. Just that simple. I could leave the extra wire on there, but I'm gonna clip it off. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go with another layer of 3. So when I need to restart, because I'm gonna use this wire, I'm going to tie another knot onto my wreath ring, just like we did in the beginning. Go. Not so sure that this piece of holly is as secure as I want it, but I'm gonna deal with that later. When you look for wreath rings, you might find some that are just two rings rather than 4, and that works just as fine, just as well. Now I need to clip some more pieces of bough for myself. So for those of you that joined us a little bit later, part of the way to clip your boughs are, we want to take advantage of every piece that we have. So we want to make sure to cut below. I want to use this pretty piece up here. I don't want any little bits of cut off white parts to show. So I don't know if you can see, but here's the top of my bough, and I'm going to cut right about here so that my piece looks like this. And I have this bit down here for the wire. Also, I'll be able to possibly bunch it up if I need to make it a little thicker in places that I might want it to be thicker. Also, if you just joined us too and you have a kit at home, when you start wrapping your boughs onto your ring, you'll want the ring part with the curved side up. And you'll tie a knot with your wire anywhere on there and start laying boughs down, which I'm just continuing to do until we get all the way around. Okay, so I'm ready to start wrapping some more. I laid down 3 little bunches. And as you go, them, whatever you're comfortable with, do what you want. 3 seems to be manageable for me. If I try to lay more than 3 down, I end up getting a bit of a bulge in spots. Also, consistently laying down 3 keeps it pretty even all the way around. Mm. I'm also giving myself about maybe 3.5 inches at the base of my bunches to wrap them. So I'm giving myself a, whoa, what happened? Ah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Unfortunately, I believe I froze. Okay, I apologize. I don't know what happened to the video. Um, thank you guys. Oh, not sure how I can refresh. Um, mm, well, now my screen went dark, friends. I'm trying. My apologies. Let's see. Mm, well, I might lose some of you, but you're welcome to join me. I do believe I may need to end the session and restart. I cannot get my video back on. Oh, let's see. Well, let's see. Yay, we're back. Okay. One second. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Wrapping. I'm just about done. I have only this small piece left. And I realize I might be going a bit fast, guys. I apologize. But you get the idea. We're just layering all the way around. Same, repeat, repeat. I'm gonna sort of squeeze some extras in here because I have little pieces left. So I'm just gonna do more than 3 this time because I want to take advantage of every little bit I have. Another layer. It looks like it's time for me to clip another little step. So I think I've clipped maybe this will be my 4th time clipping a step. So once you start doing these, and if you find a good place to get boughs for a reasonable price or for free, you can start. Often people really like getting these as gifts, and it especially around this time. So I often make them. That's why I have a fake one at home. So I make them and I give them away as gifts. As a matter of fact, one of my coworkers walked in and they said that they would buy one from me if I would make them one. And actually, they don't realize this, but I'm looking at them from here in this room, and I'm going to give him this wreath. So people really appreciate them. A lot of the boughs that were passed out were cut off the bottoms of Christmas trees. That's where they seem to get a lot of when they sell them in bulk. It's also kind of nice to mix and match it. So say you go to Home Depot and you buy a bundle of boughs. I go, let's see, a pack of 5 for $20. So basically, I believe it's like one bough, 5 of those for $20. So that's not terrible. And Lowe's had 1.5 pounds for $20. I'm getting close to the end, friends. Mm. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bit of a flaw on this one, and it almost looks like it has broken off a long time. I really want to use this piece. So I had this one down first, but I decided to switch it up a little, little piece I don't want to see. I know that I want to add more holly. I think I passed my opportunity up where I want it to be positioned. So I will just add that later. I have them awkwardly in two weird spots, but whatever. It's going to look pretty in the end. So I don't know if we can see, but I'm down to just this little piece here. And that's probably going to take me another little of pieces. My options are running low here. So I'm going to have to improvise. And by that, I mean, I might cut off some of these single ones so I don't waste it, because there's really nothing I can do with this aside from cutting this one piece off. But I can make my own bunch out of that. On here. You can use different kinds of trees. I wanted to grab some from the tree in my front yard because it's really pretty, but any kind of tree will work, even just limbs off of your cherry tree in the backyard. Just even those leaves mixed into your bough can make it look really pretty. People will sometimes buy mulberry and add it. It's super pretty and smells really good. I bet that's all I need to finish this up. Then we'll get started on the decoration. All right. Move it 3 times around. I was teaching some friends this weekend how to make these, and one of them asked if I thought that they needed a loop at the end of when we're done placing all of their pieces and complete. But you really don't need a loop. The back of this wreath ring has got plenty of places to hang it from. So a loop is it's a little harder to do without making the wreath loose. You can always add something later if you want. It does smell really good in here. I'm not loving those pieces. Okay, I'm getting close to rounding it all out. Yes. I need to add one more, and I might have it complete. So I am just about there, guys. Almost to the very one more. Kind of using up some of these scraps. This one has some dead ones on it. I'm gonna get this out. Maybe it can still use it. I think I can. I'll clear these off the bottom. And I want to give myself a little room. Off and give myself about this much room. So my bench is about 8 inches. I'm going to this is a last project. I'm going to have to shove it that way it's even more secure and you can't really see where I started around. I want to be careful when you go to get to the end that you don't. I don't know if you can see, but I have my finger wrapped around my first bunch. I don't want to get these little and maybe I'm not liking that. I feel like it's a bit off centered. I'm going to add a little more over here. Don't think you can really see on the camera that it's a bit, oh, you can see the space here. It needs to be a bit more filled up. So I am gonna fill that up and then maybe I'll be done. Okay. Well, there we go. That's all it needed. A few more. Just that. I feel good with this. I feel like that looks okay. This is what oh, let me lift this camera up a little more. Here we go. So this is what I ended up with. I'm going to tie the knot off. And I'm going to, I'm gonna knock this down a little bit. Oh, see, that didn't even stay, but that's okay. Because I'm gonna add it as we go. And as I put on some of the decorations, I might even change my mind. So let's get back to it. All right, so here goes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me double check that my microphone is still proper. Okay. Oh, I apologize. You know what it is, friend? I'm not facing, I gotta stay close to the microphone on the computer. Okay. So this is where we need our wire cutters or scissors. Anything really gets through this wire. I will tell you, not your teeth, and twisting it back and forth doesn't seem to work either, but scissors and wire cutters work really well. Your hands are gonna get dirty. Lots of sap. Hand sanitizer works great to get sap off, along with a million other things to work well. I'm gonna make this a really good knot because I don't want anything coming loose. And if I wanted to, funny, but it actually, my wire tangled itself into a loop. So if I wanted to use a loop, there we go. All right. I'm gonna give it some extra twists, like a twisty tie, and keep it nice and tight. And there we go. So now this is all done. I feel good with that. I like it. And I can also pay attention to where I want to place my bow. So I might pick the spot I like the least on my wreath, and that might be the spot where I put the bow. So I am going to start adding some decorations now. Oh, oh, we're frozen again. I do want to show you a little trick when it comes to the decorations and how to best manage them when putting them on your wreath. Sorry about the video. I'm having to go back and forth and refresh. There we go. Okay, so, oh, it's doing this. Come on, you. Oh, that's nothing. I don't know what's happening. It keeps freezing. My apologies. Okay, so we'll take our bulbs. I'm gonna keep trying. And you'll want to take floral wire and make like a bread, cut off a bread tie size piece of floral. Thanks for your patience. So I'm going to take my floral wire and now I can just any piece anywhere I want and bread tie it, twist it on there. So some red beads, this one, and I also want to put on this red bow that I bought. And then, so always ready, Tom. nice long twisty tie of its own. And sorry, I keep losing my camera. I'm not sure what's, there we go. So on my first wreath, I put the bow at the top of my wreath and I added these bulbs. I threaded them like I showed you and twist tied them on. I also bunched them together. So I twist tied these two together first, and then I added them to my wreath. Let's see. I did the same with the bells. They have a little there in there that I've been putting my wire through. And I just tied these both together and then put them on there. Get that out of the way. I'm not sure if I'm going to put my bow at the top or I make it the least. They also look kind of cute on the bottom of the wreath. This one, I think I might place this one on the bottom of my. Thanks for being so patient with the video issues. I am really sorry. Oh my goodness. Again with this. Okay. So I think I think I'm gonna put my bow right there. I feel like it's quite bulky in this area and I want to cover some of it up. I lost video, friends. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna use the laptop and try this way. I hope this works. I'm just really struggling with that. Okay, so what I was saying is I think that I have this really bulky piece here on my wreath and it's not quite as bulky everywhere else. So I'm going to take advantage of that big space and I am going to put my bow at the bottom of my wreath. See if I can find a way to lift my camera. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. Now, I was going with the red, so I do want to add some more holly because that one piece came out. I like this one. So I want to place that somewhere in here. I'm going to put the top in it. I'm actually going to go ahead and place my bow. I do find it's to get one of the bows to stay with the thread tie in the back. You've kind of got to really push it in there and super twist it tight because these will come a bit loose. I'm actually going all the way through to the back of the ring and attaching it to the ring itself. So I've stuck it all through all of my boughs. And there we go. I think that looks okay. So I have a piece of holly here. I think I'm going to put another piece up here. I'm going to just stick it in here. That should stay pretty well. I don't feel like I need to secure that any more than it is. It seems to be staying pretty well in there. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. Now I'm going to get ready to do my little bells. This one doesn't have a. I do want it to make a little noise. So sure, I'm going to put these two bells together, and I'm just going to go ahead and put both of them on here. So I've attached both, and now just to secure them and keep them real close together, I'm going to twisty tie it right there. And hey friends, I'm going to give this camera another shot. One moment. Again, thank you so much for your patience. Oh. All right. So here is the bottom. I have holly up here. It's kind of hard to see. And a piece here. But I think I'm going to put some bells right over here. And because they're so lightweight, I'm going to just take these two little pieces of this bough and attach it just to that. Just tie that on there. And now, there we go. Those are on there, okay? Okay, now I want to add some more red. So got another bell that makes some noise. So I'm going to add 2 more red bells. Again, I'm going to take my floral wire and cut a bread size tie. Well, it can be as long as you want. A piece of floral wire. Go ahead and do this again with my ornaments. Cut it through. There we go. Run both on here and twist these. Okay. Where do I want to put them? I think right here is good. I have one of these tips that I don't really like in my wreath. I'm just now seeing that. So this is one where I clearly cut it off, but it's real obvious. My eye is drawn right to it. So I am going to snip it off at the Y down here. I'm actually going to just take it off. There we go. And shove that piece down there. Now it's gone. There we go. And I think I'll attach this. Oh, gosh, try to get this out a little, and the holly up here isn't showing as much as I'd like it to. There we go. Okay. Well, it's that simple. So here's my wreath. I've got my glow down here. And holly and jingle bells are on the side here. And I can hang it up by the back right here. Does anybody have any questions for me at all? Because that kind of is a wrap, friends. I'm hoping that this is something we can offer each year, because it's kind of easy and hopefully you can now teach other people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me today. You have no more questions. I think we'll call this. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for joining me.